Hi everyone, I'm Haritan and I'm really excited to be sharing with you a drink that I've been making lately, and it's known as the Bulletproof Hot Chaga Chocolate Drink. And I really think you're going to like this one because not only is it tasty, not only is it nourishing, but it's medicinal as well. And it's really important, especially in these upcoming winter months, to really dial in our medicinal strategy. And one of the easiest ways to do this, one of the best ways, is to incorporate our medicines with things that already taste really great. And that's what we're going to be doing today. And so most of the medicine in this drink will be coming from this thing that I'm holding right here. So what is this thing? This isn't a piece of burnt wood that I pulled from a fire pit late last night. No, this is actually a fungus known as the Chaga fungus, or Inonotus obliquus. And this has been used for centuries in Russian medicine, in Eurasian medicine, and it's gaining a lot of popularity here in the United States. Now, it also has a lot of modern research to back up its claims. And a lot of the research shows that this mushroom possesses anti-cancer properties, anti-tumor properties, even anti-diabetic properties. I harvested this just a few months ago here in Pennsylvania, and you can find it here in Pennsylvania. It really likes the circumpolar boreal forests of the world. So it really likes birch forests, and this is where I primarily find the chaga mushroom. That's not to say it doesn't grow on other trees, but I usually find it on the yellow birch tree here in Pennsylvania. If you don't know where this grows, if you've never stumbled upon this in the wild, that's okay. There's a lot of companies that sell products made from the chaga mushroom. Now, most of the research focuses on one compound in particular in this fungus, and that compound is known as betulin. Now, betulin is concentrated in this outer black crust area of this mushroom. It's synthesized in the birch tree in the outer white bark, but it gets concentrated in this outer black part. Now, if you've ever seen a chaga mushroom, or if you're looking at it right now, you can tell there's two superficial parts to it. There's this outer black crust and there's this inner orange cork-like material. And they're both very medicinal, and I encourage you to use both of them in your medicines. Betulin is primarily concentrated in this outer black mass. Now, betulin can be converted into its derivative betulinic acid. And a lot of research shows that betulinic acid possesses numerous pharmacological activities, especially against cancer. And what it does is it selectively targets cancerous cells while sparing normal healthy cells. So it doesn't affect the normal healthy cells, it just targets and selectively inhibits the cancerous cells. And we see a lot of research showing that the chaga mushroom inhibits melanoma. And melanoma is one of the most serious forms of skin cancer. But not only may it be effective against melanoma, but other cancers as well. Now, there are other compounds in the chaga mushroom that can be pulled out with hot water extraction, so whenever you make a tea. And some of these compounds are known as polysaccharides. And we can pull out polysaccharides with hot water extractions. These polysaccharides act, among other things, as antioxidants. And antioxidants are essential for good health. We could tell there's a lot of antioxidants in here because whenever you make a tea, which I've already done right here, you could tell this color is so dark, so rich, so black, almost like a coffee. Now, it doesn't taste like coffee. It's very mild, but you could tell just the level of antioxidants by looking at the color alone. Now, there are other polysaccharides in the chaga mushroom known as beta-glucans. And beta-glucans are a special class of polysaccharides, mainly concentrated in medicinal mushrooms all around the world and other species as well. But we really see it in the medicinal mushrooms. And this is why medicinal mushrooms are so critical to be including into our medicinal strategies. Now, beta-glucans have been shown to act as immune system modulators. Now, what the heck does that mean? Well, immune system modulators basically regulate the immune system in two ways. They're dual directional, which means if our immune system's working too high, it's too hot, it's on overdrive, let's say in the case of an autoimmune condition, it can help bring that back down to normal levels. If our immune system is not working well enough, maybe we're immunocompromised, colds, flus, infections, viruses, it may be able to help bring that back up. And these beta-glucans are found in this mushroom and other medicinal mushrooms. So as you can see, the chaga mushroom definitely is a medicinal superstar of the forest that you can harvest yourself. So what we're going to be doing today is making a drink using the chaga mushroom as the base. So we're not going to be using tap water as the base. We're not going to be using soy milk. We're not going to be using low-fat milk. We're going to upgrade it, take it to the next level and beyond, and we're going to make a hot water extraction, basically a tea. Now, I've already done that for you right here. So I've already done most of the work in making this medicine. And it's really easy to do once you acquire the chaga fungus. So I've acquired this many months ago and I dried it out, and that's the first step. You definitely want to dry it out or else it'll go moldy. It sounds kind of bizarre that a fungus would go moldy, but it happens. And so I've already dried it out. And whenever you're going to make a tea, you want to break it down into little chunks. You don't want to take this thing, put it in a pot of water, and let that simmer. It's not going to be effective because you need that water to penetrate deep within these tissues to pull out as much medicine as possible. So we need to increase the surface area by breaking it down. And whenever I'm ready to use it, I just scrape off some bits of this or just pound it out. And I use about 2 tablespoons of the dried mass per half a gallon of water. So that's the ratio that I use. And I create something like this. And I let it simmer for about 2 hours. That's a sweet spot that I found with medicinal mushrooms, about 2 hours. You could do a little less, you could do a little more, but it needs that prolonged length of time in order to extract the most medicine. And once you've done that, you can strain it out and then just put it in a jar and you can refrigerate it. And it can stay in the refrigerator for up to a week, and then you can just siphon that off throughout the week and drink that instead of making a cup every single day. Now, once you have those chunks, you don't want to compost that. You don't want to throw them away. You want to reuse them over and over and over again. And this is actually a second batch chaga. It's not the first batch, so it's not quite as dark as the first one, but there's still medicine in there. And so you can get so much medicine out of it just by making a second batch, a third batch, a fourth batch. So long as you're still getting color and a little bit of flavor, you're still getting medicine out of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to head on over to the stove, and I'm going to basically heat some of this up because that's the first step. You need that hot chaga extraction as the base for our drink. Now, because we've already made our extraction and let it cool down, all I have to do is basically bring this up to a hot enough temperature for this hot chocolate. So first I'm going to pour 12 ounces of my extraction into this pot. And then just turn it on. And it'll just take about 2 to 3 minutes for it to heat up. And then we don't want it to boil. We'll just bring it up to about a simmering temperature. So right now it looks like it's ready to go. Okay, I'm back with a blender in front of me, and we're going to take those 12 ounces of the chaga extraction that we heated up, not quite to a boil, almost simmering, and we're going to pour it into the blender as our base. So once we have that, we're going to build it from there. The next thing that we're going to add is a fat. And I like adding a fat because it creams it out a bit, it makes it more nourishing, and it tastes really good. And my fat of choice here in Pennsylvania is local raw grass-fed butter. And I like using it because it's a local fat. Now, I'm going to put about 1.5 tablespoons of this in here. If you don't have access to butter, you don't like butter, doesn't work for you, that's fine. You can use another fat. Coconut oil is great as well. It might alter the flavor profile just a bit. You can also use a ghee, but I put about 1.5 tablespoons. You could do a little more, you could do a little less, but that's what I put in there. Next, we're going to add, not Swiss Miss, not Ovaltine, we're going to add organic raw cacao powder. Remember, we're taking this to the next level and beyond, so we're going to use the best of the best. And I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of this in here. And cacao is one of those great cardiovascular foods. So we have that in there. Next, we're going to add organic raw vanilla powder. Now, a lot of people like vanilla extracts. That's fine as well. You can add a little bit of vanilla bean. I'm going to put just a pinch in here, not too much. Vanilla goes really well with chocolate, and it contains a compound known as vanillin. And vanillin has been shown to possess anti-cancer properties, anti-tumor properties, and also neuroprotective properties. So it's going to add some medicine in this drink as well. So we got that in there. I'm going to add just a pinch of sea salt. Now, sea salt will help balance out these flavors, only a pinch. And I'm using an Icelandic flake salt. But whatever sea salt you like, you can definitely throw in there. It's not necessary, I just like to add it in there to balance out those flavors. And last but not least, I like to add a sweetener. And just like the fat, how I like to keep it local, I like to do the same thing with my sweeteners. And so I live in Pennsylvania, and so we have an abundance of maple trees. And every year, late February, early March, I like to head out to the sugar maple tree right behind my house, tap into that, pull out some of that sap, which can eventually be turned into syrup. So I'm going to add about 1.5 tablespoons in here. And if you don't like maple syrup, you don't have access to it, that's okay. You can add honey. There are great sources of local wild organic honey. If you don't want to add extra calories, extra sugar, that's fine too. A stevia might work as well, but you only need a pinch or two of that because it's way sweeter than any sugar product that I would put in here. So that's basically it. And all we have to do now is just blend it up, drink it, and enjoy. And it'll blend for about 15, 20, 30 seconds. And that's all there is to it. So let's see how this turned out. So you can see it's pretty frothy. And it looks great and smells great too. So there's a little bit extra, that's okay. We'll leave that for the cameraman over here. Very frothy, wow. That's better than any Ovaltine I've ever had. Man, I really wish you were here to enjoy this with me right now, but I encourage you in the meantime to make this for yourself at home and really experience the magic of this drink. And remember how important it is to develop an immune system strategy in these upcoming winter months. And it only makes sense to feed our immune system with foods that are immunosupportive, like the medicinal mushrooms. I really like chaga because I can find it easily around here. It's really versatile. It goes really well with a drink like this. But I want to thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And if you have a comment about this video, a question about what I've done, or you have a critique about it, I'd love to hear all of that stuff. You can leave a comment down below. You can head on over to the blog at Wild Foodism, even if it's just to say hi, because I'd love to say hi back. But thanks again, really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.